Your interest rate is 19.99%. Again, you have a 500 credit score, so your interest rate is going to be raised. What kind of payment were we expecting to be at? Where do we need to be?
Low credit, so therefore it's a high risk. Plus you're rolling over negative equity. Plus you have no money down.
I mean, I'm talking 96 days behind, and I owed them $2,220. Notice the time on the screen? It says 5:40 a.m. That means I was not resting.
They're in debt. They're in a lot of debt. They're not able to handle it. And this is what they do. They just go, buy all this stuff, but they're in debt.
I took some time to recover. We got the voice back. Yay. We have a couple that's trying to finance a 9-year-old BMW at 20% interest rate. Low credit, old BMW, and high interest. That is not a glow up. That is a financial setback in disguise. We have more people that are in debt and some people that are thinking about getting into debt. So welcome back to the channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification to be notified for future videos. Watch the full video, and let's jump straight in.
Either payment to be less than what it is. I'm trying to budget myself.
Then we need to be at a cheaper car.
Nah. We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you.
Okay. Out the door, you're at $24,981. That's with your fees, your sales tax, and motor vehicles. That's cash finance. It's the same price. But outside, you asked me what the cash price is.
Yes.
So are we looking?
We say it's the same thing. So.
Correct. So we're looking to finance, right? How's the credit?
Yeah, credit might be shot, but you can run it and see what happens.
The credit might be shot. Well, let's see if there's even a point to run the credit and, put a negative inquiry on it. How much money down are we looking to put?
Very awkward. This is a very awkward transaction, right? But this is them knowing that they can't really afford this car, or they're in a big situation where they're biting more than they could chew. But let's keep going. I'm not even sure.
The down payment, since if the down payment is going to cover the registration and stuff like that, the plates.
You're probably going to need a little bit more than just the fees and taxes, because if the credit's shot and the car is a 2017 with 85,000 miles, you might need to put a little bit more money down. Now, you guys said the credit is shot, so what's the credit?
I didn't run it to know what it was like.
Do you want to just run the credit and see then? Okay, let me, whose name is it going in? Your name? Let me see your license then. Okay, here's your credit application. I need you to sign in these 3 spots, giving me permission to run your credit. You're going to sign 1, 2, and then 3. It's coming back at a 538. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to get you done with $6,000 down even, but if you guys want, I can send it out to the bank and see what we're going to need to put an approval down. Credit's kind of rough. There's a little bit of challenges on it. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to send it to the bank and then see what we could possibly get done with it. Question, can we put $8,000 down?
What would that do?
It would get an approval.
Yeah, but for how much?
Your monthly payment, if you put $8,000 down, would be... with $8,000 down, it would be $700 a month for 4 years or $600 a month for 5 years. Your interest rate is 19.99%. Again, you have a 500 credit score, so your interest rate is going to be raised. What kind of payment were we expecting to be at? Where do we need to be? 400 a month? It's just
the maximum.
Yeah, we wouldn't. It wouldn't work with this car. You need to be a car that's under $20,000, not almost $25,000 out the door.
So I don't understand.
You're going to be financing 17 grand, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then 17 grand with a 19.99 interest rate at 60 months is $630 a month.
To me, he just sounded a little bit passive aggressive, a little bit with his approach. But again, you need to be with people that are trying to buy status and appearance. That confidence I've never understood. But if they were a little bit savvy, financially literate, let me check MJ's car buying checklist, link in the description down below, and I would go there with my own outside financing. I wouldn't have them jack up my credit, which is already bad, by sending it to 10, 15 different banks just for you to get approved because you're so desperate. So let's do a little bit of math, right? Because everything is mathematical. Put emotions to the side. Straight math, quick math, right? If they finance this car for 4 years at $700 a month, that is $33,000 out the door, plus the $8,000 that they put down. You're looking at a $41,000 car for a car that's not even worth half of that. Right? And if they finance it for 5 years, you're looking at 36 plus the 8 they put down, you're looking at 44 at 20% interest rate. So out the door, they're already, before even driving the car out the lot, negative equity. Negative equity. Now they have a high fixed payment and they have limited refinancing options due to a jacked up credit profile. So you're stuck. You're stuck with this debt decision. People like this love to be broke on paper, but rich in the parking lot. I don't understand, like, the chasing of perception, right? The badge, the image, and the feeling of making it without ever making it, looking rich without being rich. A 500 credit score should have been your biggest warning sign, not a green light. And you knew what you were doing. And now people are going to make these decisions because a Mercedes is a flex. No, it's a liability with leather seats. Comment down below what you guys think.
Low credit, so therefore it's a high risk, plus you're rolling over negative equity, plus you have no money down. And so the taxes will be based off of your state. Could you cover your taxes up front and not trade your vehicle in?
I don't have the money up front. Usually in Georgia, whenever you buy a vehicle from a dealership, all that's included in the financing. Can y'all put it in the financing?
We can do the same thing out here, but what I'm saying is if you roll that into your price, then the risk just increases.
I don't have a choice. I'll keep the car.
Okay.
And it'll make the deal work a lot easier. I just don't have the extra money to pay for that stuff out of pocket up front.
I guess the thing here would be trying to get it done with no money out of pocket.
Yeah, because I make over $100,000. I ain't worried about the payments. We just need another truck.
Can you send your most recent pay stub and then allow me to put some numbers together just as if you were to purchase a vehicle from us without trading in the Bronco? And let's see what we can do for you. And then we'll roll over the transportation in there. I would suggest if you can take care of the transportation on your end, that would just be a lower amount that I'd have to ask the bank for you to borrow.
See if they will do it. If not, I'll either fly out there and drive it back or I'll figure it out. But see first if they'll finance everything since I don't have that cash available on hand. How many miles are on it?
So the one that I'm looking at, I have a Bighorn 2023. It's got like 40,000 miles, I believe.
Oh, yeah. And that's the only truck you guys have that will work with my credit score?
Yeah, it would be the least expensive truck that I have.
Okay, that's fine. What color is it?
It's black on black.
Ooh, nice. Can y'all send me pictures of it and send me that sheet that y'all are going to send over to the bank?
Yeah.
And then just let me know.
We'll go ahead and send you some more information and allow me to see what I can do for you today.
That man said, ooh, nice. No, it should be, no. 100% no. The fact that you can't even afford the down payment, right? Or taxes and fees up front, but you mentioned that you make 100K. Where's the shame? This is why a lot of people that make good money are stuck living like this. Toys, cars, debt cycles. This is what it is. This is why somebody that makes 6 figures feels like they make 40K. You keep financing at rates you don't understand for cars you don't need. A Dodge Ram, that is a liability. That is an electrical liability. That car is known to be one of the most unreliable trucks. Honestly, you could have just picked a Ford F-150 at least, or a Chevy Silverado. Big Ram, big dog. No big dog, right? All bark, no dog. All sizzle, no steak. And hey, you make money though. You make 100 figures, so I'm not worried about the payments. You definitely will worry about the payments because you have 2 cars. Brother. Oh.
This is just a reminder to not drive your friend's newer car. I drive a 2013 Chevy Impala, and I'm really just trying to get everything out of it before I upgrade, and I'm really pushing it. I drove my friend's car. Her seats were heated. Her freaking steering wheel was heated. Like, new cars are so nice. They drive so smooth. Like, what do you mean your car brakes for you? My car barely brakes. Like, y'all have it so nice. I might need to upgrade.
Somebody said, don't do it. It's a trap. Insurance is more expensive. It's not worth it at all. Friend, I pay $850 for my truck. Payments suck, I promise. Somebody said, I've got a 2003 Subaru Forester and I'm maintaining it until it dies completely. No way do I want to deal with the car payment on top of my mortgage, insurance, student loans as well, especially if the economy crashes again. This girl gets it. She knows ball. She understands. And this is what I talk about in this channel, right? Is that people like to sign themselves up for car payments, right? On top of having cluster debt or cluster payments in other types payment obligations that they have to, that they're paying. And now signing up yourself for a car is a better idea. Crazy as hell. You're not going to pay it off because you have cluster payments on every level. And at the end of the day, you start to wonder why your checks aren't really checking. This is how they get you, man. It's these little bells and whistles, the nice heated seats, the steering wheel, the lane assist, everything that you really don't need and will create more problems. All right. At the end of the day, if you can afford a car payment, I'm not against that. But at the end of the day, I do know a lot of people are living with huge crippling debt. And a car payment is not going to help you finish the student loans. It's not going to help you have a nice cushion in your savings account where you're good for 6 months to a year. We talk about car payments. It is the thief of your check and your financial prosperity. Comment down below.
One thing about me is I'm going to always be transparent. I'm going to show you my wins, my losses, and my challenges. So let's talk about it. Not that long ago, I was behind on my car loan And I mean, I'm talking 96 days behind, and I owed them $2,220. Notice the time on the screen? It says 5:40 a.m. That means I was not resting. I was up worrying about money. Financial stress will rob you of your peace. But something shifted for me when I stopped worrying about money and started praying intentionally about it. Not random prayers, but scripture-based prayers over my finances. And today, my car is completely paid off. Ain't God good?
There's never been a person that said, man, look at all this much debt I have. Unless you're making money and it's bringing you some sort of passive income, even with that, anything goes wrong, it eats from your profits. It creates some sort of anxiety. It creates for you to perform at the highest level, right? You cannot lose your job. You cannot take a break. You always have to, you know what I'm saying, make sure you have some sort of a PTO, right? You need to have side hustles. You need to have gig work for you to afford that car. You have to. On top of childcare and student loans and these cluster payments that I talked about in the last. No, it creates this financial anxiety, this worry, this depression, this calamity that you really didn't need to sign up for. Just like she said, she made a prayer. God gave her some sort of provision and she paid it off. Sometimes God will test you because you like testing yourself.
I know that sometimes it's so hard to see people spending money and going on vacations, buying new things, doing all these things, and you feel a sense of, why can't that be me? But you have to realize that a lot of these people, they're in debt. They're in a lot of debt. They're not able to handle it. And this is what they do. They just go, buy all this stuff, but they're in debt. And granted, not everybody. There are some people, these influencers that are out of touch with reality that just, show their endless PR hauls and all their designer and luxury goods. That aside, just the average person, you don't realize how many people are in debt. And until I made this TikTok account and one of my videos blew up, so many people in the comments were talking about how they're in debt. And so many people don't know that people are in debt. They're in more debt than you would ever think. So before you compare yourself to these people, sometimes you have to think, maybe they're just in debt.
Not everybody's in debt. Some people have a lot of disposable income that they can, and they were very disciplined and now they can enjoy the fruits of their labor, right? They can enjoy the fruit and the sweetness of it because they were patient. Now, there's a lot of people, right, that, yes, are in debt, crippling debt, huge debt, car payments, student loans, mortgages, which is equating to being house poor, right? Scraping by every month, budgeting themselves out of any situation, having that anxiety of making it through another month. Some people are living that life. And that has a lot to do with choice and habits. Everything is a mindset. At the end of the day, right, you can have two people with the same salary that have different lives. Somebody's going to be more, critical and more financially savvy and more financially literate about the investments they get into and what they want to do and saving more and, trying to get out of debt. Then there's somebody that's going to take and finance vacations that is funded by credit cards at high interest rates. And they are already on top of that having car payments, student loan debt, not making enough because of stagnant wages. And it's just crazy how some people get by not thinking about their future and their prosperity. And it's even more sad because even if you have kids too, some people still don't learn, that being selfless is more important because now you have children. Some people are still financially reckless. I see it every day with certain family members that have been living the same way and can blow through their tax returns, can blow through their, any money that they get. There's life. So everything has to do with the mindset, right? Everything first starts in the mind. Right. And if you have a severe problem with keeping up with others and keeping up with Joneses and feeling like, you're insecure because you can't reach it fast enough, people will crawl and get into debt and then think about the problem later. And that's what gets people in trouble. I just don't want you guys watching these videos. Interact with the channel. All right. If you're trying to buy a car, don't be like the first couple in the first clip. Check out the guide, right? And my link in the description down below. And if you are in credit card debt, I personally would tell you before you make any payment, invest in some sort of knowledge, right? And that knowledge, it becomes your leverage, right? And this ebook that I created for you guys, honestly, I wish I read it. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I honestly wish I read this because I was stuck in analysis paralysis. I didn't know what to do. Some people are, right? You need to equip yourself with certain things that will help you get further in life. Check both of those links in the description down below. That being said, I'm going to end the video here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. You know the drill. Be good, do good. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.